Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here today. And if you're catching the replay, just put a hashtag replay. And please feel free to put your comments into the comments below. I will respond to them this afternoon. So, for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Shannon Gorton. I'm an intuitive mindset energy coach, and I mentor heart-centered, creative, wise women to cultivate balance, abundance, and harmony with ease, purpose, and fun. That means that you have your mindset sorted, your energy is sorted, and all the things are flowing in harmony and balance. And there is an ebb and a flow. And sometimes we come up against some challenges and we need a little bit of assistance in getting that sorted. So that's what I do. I mentor and I coach creative, heart-centered wise women to navigate through the inner work so that they can achieve their amazing goals and dreams, like the biggest ever that they can imagine and even bigger. So today I am going to share a bit about oracle cards. Many years ago, I started out with tarot cards, and I just have really found a lot of connection and intuitive insight and awakening when using oracle decks. One of the decks that I currently like to use is called the Priestess of Light Oracle deck, and this is by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. I really like this comment. It says, "Be your own priestess of light. Celebrate your eternal power in the sacred ceremony that is your life." So like an overview of the things. So Oracle 101, basically choose a deck that resonates with you. And you'll know when you're tuned into your intuition if something resonates with you or it doesn't. It'll feel good or it won't feel good. And that's how you sort it. So this deck, gosh, I had this deck for a couple of years, but whether I get an oracle deck or a tarot deck in the mail, I order it and it's shipped online, or if I go and I purchase it in a shop or a store, the first thing I like to do is I like to leave my deck outside for a little bit so that the energy can start leaving. So many people along the journey of the cards to myself have touched many hands, been through different vehicles, possibly different states or countries, depending upon where you get them from. So what I wanted to share is a process that I use that works for me, that resonates for me. And there is no right or wrong. It's just something that has evolved for me over time. It didn't start out the way that it has evolved to what it is today. And then there have been many adaptations and experimenting. And one of the things I love to experiment with and have fun with is energy, mindset energy. And I love playing with the energy, like really what else is possible with this. So I do like to pay attention and notice what I notice and different things that are coming up around me. In particular, my cards every day. So this is a guidebook. Typically, oracle decks and tarot decks do come with a relatively handy, resourceful guidebook, which will give a little bit of background. It can give you, it's really a book for the most part. And the other decks that are available, it's just content, an introduction about the author, about the artist, some background stories, a little bit about the cards, any invocations or blessings that you could sample, kind of pick these up and amend them to suit you so that they resonate with you. And then they've got sample card spreads. Um, this one has a nice invocation. So invoking the assistance of spirit is often helpful in both quieting your energy and opening the connection to divine and angelic assistance. You can use the following sample for any invocation or prayer that feels comfortable to you. And this one says, I invite the presence of loving spirit to bring health and healing here. May divine love bless and inform us. May inspiration guide this experience, bring wisdom to my heart and mind, and bring blessings and guidance to all. It's a very nice invocation. So there's different card layouts that you can use, different card spreads, um, so many different ways that you can tune into and receive guidance for yourself or for others when you are working with the cards, whether it's tarot or oracle. So the guidebook also refers to a suggested meaning or feeling that the author has created associated with each card. Typically, the cards will have a blessing or an activation or an affirmation or a mantra, a little bit of guidance, a journal prompt, depending upon what the deck it has for you. So what I do is I like to, after I let the card deck sit outside for a little bit, 10-15 minutes, not necessarily in the sun, but so it stays dry, doesn't get too hot or too cold, just so that the air has the opportunity, nature, the elements has an opportunity to touch that box or that deck of cards. I take the book, I take it out, and I'll flip through it because I want to stir up the energy. And I'll flip the pages forward, backward, upside down, sideways. I'll shake it out because what I want to do is I want to have this energy stirred up from sitting in the box and going through the modes of transportation and the hands of the delivery people that it has touched along the way. And just love and light, they're flipping through and you're shaking it out. A lot of people like to use the Slanted crystal that you can pass over it and pass over the Slanted crystal to help as well. Be sure to do the entire box as well so that you're cleaning the storage area of the oracle deck or the tarot deck. Next, I'll take and I'll dump the card deck out. I always like to look if there's any imagery or art there. My throat's a little bit dry. Excuse me for just a moment. Nope, a little bit of a tickle. Again, what I like to do is take the cards and move the energy. I like to have the physical contact with the card. You can also use the selenite crystal and pass it over the deck. You can pass the deck over the crystal. You could do it either way. I've found for myself, passing the crystal over the cards is also a very good way. Setting it down and then putting the crystal on top of it is another way. Excuse me. And then you can flip it over and set it on the other side as well. One thing that I do like to do is I like to blow the energy through the cards. So as you can see, I'm blowing as I tip the cards up and let them drop down into my hand. Right? So what I'm doing is upright and reverse the energy, pushing it through, and the same. A bit of a shuffle this way and that, just really wanting to toss the salad over the cards. And the other thing that I really like to do is I connect to each card. Well, this deck, I've had it for years. We go way back, but taking the deck and turning it over and looking at each card and saying hello and embracing the energy. Hello, be respectful of the card, the energy of the cards, the guides who come in at the time. Sometimes you'll get messages right away. Definitely go through the deck, each card, hello, hello, and just send them love. Send love light to the card for your good, right? For your highest good and the highest good of all. That is something that I repeat in a very authentic heart space, right? Almost respect, right? It's a revered respect for the energy of the cards that I have come to know over the years, and it's a good friend. Like all my decks are really good friends, spiritual friends. You go through each, you say hello, telepathy, hello, brilliant belief, hello, opening heart, and continue to introduce yourself and the card, right, to the energy of the card, the energy of you. And you'll do that through with each card. And then once again, you can take it, you can shuffle the cards any way you would like. There's this kind of a shuffle, right? And there's this kind of a shuffle. So it's a portrait and landscape, right? You can cut your deck in half. You can do it in like thirds, fourths, eighths, and do it that way. There's also the Las Vegas shuffling, splitting the card deck in half, right? And then you like you're shuffling the deck that way. That can work for you. You can take and mix up the cards. Now I learned in doing the Oracle School with Colette and Reed that reverse cards, a nice way to look at the energy of reverse cards, to look at them as a protection zone in the reverse cards, because I fully believe as a high vibe intuitive person being that that which you focus on expands and grows, and I do not let negativity into my circle, into my energy. So it's always high vibe, it's always good vibes. So that's really important to make sure that what you're bringing in is the love and the heart centered and the highest vibe that you have to bring in is really important. So I like to be able to shuffle the cards. I pull cards every day for guidance for myself and for my clients and for my work in this world. And it's a beautiful way to connect. One of my main modalities is the Akashic Records. And I have a blend, I call it my eclectic blend, as I have learned over time what works for me. And in the woo that I do, that's my jam is Akashic Records, the Oracle cards, and stepping into that realm of my spirit guides and my angels and archangels, and really embracing the messages that I'm downloading and receiving for myself, my clients, and for the world in the way of my work. And I keep notes. I have a journal and I track what the cards gift me in the way of the messages and insight that I receive for that particular day or for that particular event or program or client. I do live readings with each session that I have with my clients. Sometimes that's 5 or 6 a month per client. And it's always so beautiful and so tuned into where my client is at that time. These cards are tuned into where I am. I like to think of the cards as showing me a snapshot of energy where I am currently. Because of free will, I am able to make the choices, and the energy that I experienced yesterday may be similar, but it's not in the exact place that I am in today. Because as we progress through our cycle, our energy transmutes, it transforms, it evolves, it shifts. And with each choice, that does shift as well. So a card reading that you had Now, it doesn't mean like become addicted to, oh, I have to have my cards read every single day. We don't want to misuse the relationship of the oracle. Like I said, it's respectful relationship, and it's authentic, and it's aligned with my highest good and the highest good of all. So, so that's that. So we covered when you get your deck, whether you get it online or at a store, a little shop, a little boutique. You want to make sure that you are cleansing the cards, stirring up that energy, and introducing yourself, introducing your energy, and meeting the energy of the deck. Sometimes you may come across what you thought was a really good deck and it just doesn't vibe for you, and there's no harm or no foul. Typically, you don't have the opportunity. It's not a common practice, if you will, to return the cards. Most people, it's like you buy it and it's yours. What you could do is perhaps use the energy of the moon. I would do the full moon first. This is just me speaking, and you could certainly try it, and maybe something else or a different protocol, if you will, would work better for you. But try it out and see what happens. I have taken a card deck that I was like wanting for the longest time, and I couldn't wait. You know, I did all the things, and it just didn't feel right with my energy wherever I was on my journey. You know, maybe there was a little bit of schmutzy stuff that was still attached energetically to the cards. I'm not sure. It was a brand new deck. So when I got it, it just felt kind of like, it didn't really sit with me. So I waited for the full moon. Excuse me. On the full moon, I tend to cleanse my crystals and any semi-precious stones and crystals and jewelry, rings, bracelets, etc., earrings that has semi-precious stones or precious stones. I always cleanse them by the light of the moon on the full moon. That is a good time to release that which no longer serves us, and that includes our crystals and our cards. Now, I don't wet a lot of my crystals, but I do let the energy of the moonlight just bathe the crystals or the jewelry. Same with the cards. We don't obviously wet our cards because they are made of paper. Even if it's cardstock, it's still paper, and they could damage them and they could fall apart. What I like to do is, and I do it from the inside because I know that the trust of knowing, the belief that the energy from the moon comes through the window into the cards, and it gently touches them and cleanses and like extracts any of the energy. And I picture this happening as the cards are sitting beneath the light of the moon, whether it's indoors or out. You understand that the wind could come and blow them away, so be mindful of that. If you do decide to leave them outside, keep an eye on them or weight them down, if you will. But I picture how the energy is being released into the energy of the moon and renewable energy, right? So it's transmuted in this energy that's renewed into the lighter vibe energy. So it's taking that any heaviness or negativity away from it. Then what I do is I like to either write out a little intention, a little affirmation, some good juju, good vibe energy that I want to imbue the energy of the cards with. May the love expand the panel of the insight and awareness from these cards, to myself and to my clients, however you would like to word it. And then I would put that in the box with that little comment on it to close the box. In 2 weeks, when the new moon comes, we'll take out the cards, and you'll want to freshen the energy of the cards. This is something that I do when I feel that this could really aid in um, benefiting an aligned um, channeling energy to the cards for future use. There are times when, even after this process, that the cards don't resonate with your energy, and there's no harm and no foul. You didn't do anything wrong. The cards aren't bad. Don't give up. Try another deck. Um, Gift it to someone. You want to ask them, hey, I've got a card deck that just doesn't resonate with my energy. Would love to gift it to you if it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, feel free to pass it on. And so it's a really nice way for the cards to find their right home, which it does happen just like with crystals and jewelry. There's so many times talismans and the card decks and the crystals and jewelry, there are different tools that we have that no longer serve us, and it's totally fine to share them forward to their next home so that they can aid the next person. So with that being said, on the new moon, I take the deck out and I will write another positive intention to help the energy to move forward. And then, like I said, if it doesn't work and it's just not your deck, that's no harm, no foul. There's no judgment here. Everyone is different. Everybody has a different energy vibe. And if you decide that you want to hang on to it, I think I've held on to one particular deck for like 3 years. I really wanted it. I thought it was the coolest deck, and it was like really rare, but it just did not vibe. It just did not vibe. So I paid it forward to a dear friend, and they were so grateful and so excited to receive the deck. And it was just an amazing experience for me to be able to share that with them in that way. So we have, they have many different ways that you can cleanse your deck. There are many different ways that you can choose to work with different oracle and tarot decks. A lot of mine I purchase online when I do purchase them over the years, and there are certain authors and artists that really have an amazing relationship with that energy. Rebecca Campbell is an amazing creator of oracle decks, and I love her work. She's so very inspiring. Call it Baron Reed, Sandra Ann Taylor, and her twin sister Sharon, Kyle Gray. There's so many to list and name here, but there are a handful that I really enjoy working with over the years, and I stick to those authors and creators for the oracle decks. So I can't think of anything else that you could share with that. Storing your decks. Some people like to have their decks wrapped in a scarf or a cloth, or like a little cloth bag, if you will, to keep the energy contained. It's totally up to you what feels right for you, what resonates with you. I keep mine in my boxes. I have 4 decks that I use on a regular basis, and I pull a card every day. I journal the card, see what else comes up for me. I don't read the guidebooks unless I need a little bit more insight. I totally rely on the cards and stepping into the Akashic records, into that realm, to pull in whatever I may need to receive for the particular card. There's journaling and the energy of the cards, storing your cards. You can leave them out. You can take a picture and print them and like giving little genius tips here. You can take a picture and you can print it out and you can tape it in your journal and you can journal about it so that you've got the reference. Once you start paying attention, I just love this piece. Once you start paying attention and noticing what you notice with the energy of the cards as they come up, they start sharing, speaking to you. Not really like, oh, hey, how's it going today? But yeah, there's definitely a symbiotic relationship between you and the cards and source when you step into and open your heart to receive the messages that are yours to receive. And you notice what you notice. It's beautiful guidance. It's positive. It's high vibe. I really honestly don't have any negativity or any reservations about working with an oracle deck. Just in that you want to make sure that it's a deck that resonates with you and your energy and aligning you with your purpose and what you're here to do. So I love the oracle cards. If you have any questions at all, there's like no wrong question, no right or wrong way to do things. It's in alignment with your highest good. Please pop the questions in. I'd be happy, more than happy to share my knowledge because that's what it is, just my knowledge of the oracle cards and how I work with the cards. And it's not the only way, it's not the best way, it's just the way that works for me as my journey has evolved over the years. Gosh, my first deck. I received my first tarot deck when I was in seventh, 8th grade. So I've been around the cards for a really, really long time. But in the last, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years, I've really been drawn to exploring the energy of the different artists and authors and creators of the oracle decks and how the energy totally aligns for me and my clients as well. So please pop any comments in. I'd love to hear your take on it, any suggestions that you use or any questions. And I'm going to start doing live readings and my Facebook page, and it's going to be the Akashic Moon Essentials, and I will post the link to the Facebook page when I do go live so that you can hop on and I can do live card readings for you gorgeous souls. Thank you again for tuning in today. I really appreciate you being here. I look forward to our next lesson and journey with the cards. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Lots of love. Bye.